Greetings, goddesses. It is Sarah here with the Green Goddess, and today I would like to invite you into my home and I would like to ask you a question. And it is a question that gets asked without doubt every single day in my home. And it goes something like this: Cup of tea, love? And then you wait for the response, which is almost always an astounding yes, please. So in my home, you may know this or may not, I am married to a British man, and as you might know, in England they take their tea pretty seriously, and we do in our home as well. Over the years, my husband and I have increasingly turned to a good cup of tea to soothe all things that the heart can have with woes. Tea has this magical component to it that can really just do something inside of you and just take a little bit of that anguish away. So tea has become a really sacred practice in our home. It's something that we enjoy. And I'd like to let you know that we actually really enjoy coffee as well. However, coffee does not enjoy us. It's mean to both my husband and I, and so increasingly over the years we have learned how to make a really good cup of tea, and I want to share with you today 5 little tips that can help you take your tea game to the next level. Number 1, a really good cup of tea has to start with really good quality herbs. There is no way around this one. If you commit to purchasing tea loose and in bulk form, I promise you, you are miles ahead of the game already in the taste department than you are if you are purchasing tea typically in a tea bag. There are many reasons for this, but there's a few that I want to touch base on. First of all, let's start with how we can identify a good quality loose herbal tea to a not good quality one. First of all, you want to look at the herbs. You use your eyes when you are shopping for herbs and you look to see, do these herbs look vibrant? Do they look similar to the day that they were picked or harvested? In the case of your roses, are they faded? Do they look like they're dead and lacking vitality? Or do they look bright and vibrant, just like the day that they were picked? There really is an art to picking herbs, drying them, storing them, and not everybody gets that art correctly. So you always want to use your eyes to see, how do my herbs look? Do they look good quality? Use your sense of smell as well. Smell the herbs. When you smell them, they should smell like that herb. I can smell from sniffing this tea blend here, I can smell the cinnamon in there, I can smell the floral roses, I can smell every component, every root and herb, because they are incredibly high quality. So use your eyes, use your smell, and then of course most importantly, use your sense of taste once you brew the tea. So that is how to look for good quality herbs. The reason why I'm poo-pooing tea bags is for many reasons. Generally, the herbs that are used in tea bags, oftentimes from the major tea brands, they're usually lacking quality. What happens is they get chopped up into fine little pieces so that they fit uniformly and neatly in your tea bag. And the moment that you start taking herbs and chopping them and doing things to them, you're exposing air to them and they start to oxidize and they lose a lot of their flavor and their scent, and the quality diminishes. So we always prefer something as close to nature in its chunky form than a powdered herb, because the shelf life is much better. Also, how you store herbs matters too. I like to store my loose teas in brown bags like this, or in a mason jar with a tightly fitting lid. Okay, so that's a little bit about the quality, and that is really where a good cup of tea starts. Also with the tea bags, the other problem that I have with tea bags is that a lot of times your tea bags, if they are just traditional bags, they are full of chemicals, and it's really sad to think that we are making a cup of tea, pouring boiling water on them, and then all these chemicals from the tea bag itself are releasing into our cup of tea and causing harm. So they can be bleached with chlorine, which is not good. They can have glue in them to seal the tea bag, which has chemicals in it, not good. It's the gluey stuff is releasing into your tea. And also there can be often a chemical called epichlorohydrin, which is used to strengthen the integrity of the bag itself so that it doesn't rip and tear, and that is also a harmful chemical. They are also present in your coffee filters, by the way, so be careful of that. So when I purchase tea bags, if I do, I am looking for tea bags that are non-toxic and that have not been bleached. So you can see that this one has a brown color to it. Okay, so have that on your radar as well. Some tea bags these days are even made with microplastics. So when you pour your boiling water on them, the microplastics are essentially the harmful chemicals in that plastic are melting into your cup of tea while you drink it. So let's avoid that. Okay, so we talked about step 1, quality herbs. Step 2, in my opinion, is try to avoid a tea bag, and for all those reasons I just listed. Step 3 is the quantity of herb that you use. Typically, with a regular old size mug, you're going to look at using between 1 and 2 teaspoons of herbs. If you are brewing black tea or green tea or something that is high in tannins, which is that component where if you know this one if you're a tea drinker. If you have brewed your black tea for too long or your green tea too long and it tastes really astringent and drying on your mouth, you've brewed your tea for too long. This is a fight my husband and I would often have because he likes a really strong cup of tea, so he'll make a cup of black tea and he could let it brew for like 10 minutes or 20 minutes. I'm like, no honey, that's not how you do it. He's like, but I like a strong tea. And I'm like, well then increase the amount of tea that you put in your cup. Don't necessarily increase the length of time that you brew. The quantity of the tea dictates how much flavor is in it. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. So your quantity is typically 1 to 2 teaspoons. If you want a stronger taste, then start at 1 teaspoon, increase to 2, and keep your brew time around that 5-minute mark or something like that. Now, if you're drinking black tea or green tea, you got to really be careful not to brew too long. If you're doing herbal teas though, you have the ability to really extend your brew time. And this is step number 4, the length of your brew. The length of your brew really is dependent on what you wish to receive from that cup of tea. If you only brew it for 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, there's going to be a flavor that is released from the herbs and a little bit of a therapeutic medicinal component. But if you are really looking to get the best the medicinal qualities from your tea, the best therapeutic benefits, the best benefits to your system, you want to increase your brew time for herbal teas. Okay, so some herbalists prefer actually brewing their potions the night before. So when they go to bed, they will get a quart or a liter mason jar, fill their herb in there, pour their boiling water inside, and then cap it, go to bed, let 12 hours pass, come back, and they have a strong medicinal brew of tea. And depending on the herbs you choose, it can still taste wonderful. Some herbs will have like for example, I don't like lavender tea brewed for a very long time. It gets this really intense lavender floral aroma that I find sickly. The same with cinnamon. If I brew cinnamon for too long, I don't really like that flavor. But most of my herbal teas I can brew overnight and they taste wonderful. So brew time is really important depending on if you're just wanting a little bit of taste or if you're actually wanting good therapeutic benefits from it. I would beseech you that if you are struggling with hormone problems, depression or winter blues or prostate issues or any issues, that you start looking at drinking herbal teas and increasing your brew time. Okay, so that's that. Number 5, and possibly even the most important step of all. When you make your cup of tea, always, always, always cover it. Cover your tea. Once you pour your boiling water in, what I really love about these stainless steel filters is that they avoid the need to have a tea bag. And if you have loose teas, your herbal teas, then this is a great choice. And some of them will come with a lid, a great little snappy lid that you can just pop on. So once that hot boiling water hits that herb, you immediately want to cover your tea. And why that is because there are essential oils and little magical components, aromas, and beautiful things in those herbs that you don't want to disappear into the atmosphere. So always cover that cup of tea, and you will be well on your way to enjoying a really good cup of tea. You know, I'll leave you with this. I never knew how much of a tea snoot I became over the years until I went out to an event one day and I had a cup of tea just from a regular standard, you know, tea bag, put it in, had a cup. I was like, this tea tastes like cardboard. Like, it was horrible. And it was a regular brand that's well known out there. And I realized for years I've been training my taste buds to enjoy a really good cup of tea. So these are my 5 tricks for you to enjoy a cup of tea too. Did you like this video? I hope you did. I hope you found some part of it useful. If so, share it, please. Oh my goodness, share it with your friends. Help me get known more. I would be happy to help more and more people on their herbal journey and towards enjoying those little small pleasures of life that really, really can take a cruddy day and turn it around and make it beautiful. So share this video, like it, subscribe to our channel, and I would be so happy if you hit that little bell and it will notify you when we do a new video. So that's it from me. Comment below if you have any questions. I'm happy to help you. Until next time, enjoy those good cup of teas. All right, we'll see you again. Bye.